I think sometimes that some things are just pretty much right in front of your face, but you just don't see it. And a lot of people who have gotten away from faith, sometimes you have to be shown the way back home. You know, you have to be shown the way back home. If you are a believer in God and if you are a believer in faith, well, then you understand that prayer changes things. If you don't, then you don't, right? But there's something with me with the Bible, and there's something with me with Star Trek and Q. I've always been fascinated by Q, always. And I think that Star Trek has been trying to tell us things for a long time. It's not just a TV show. It is one of the tools that higher mind individuals use to get us to wake up. You know, I was just thinking Q is snapping his finger, and I was saying that he's activating literally right here the power, the energy, the light that is within him. It is not outside of him. The idea, the energy, the thought form, the desire, it is all inside him. I hope I'm not too hard to understand. The Bible has talked about this so many times. Prayer, the understanding that the consciousness of God is within all human beings, and that if we want to change our life, we have to realize that it is inside of us. It is not outside of you. And I was thinking that that consciousness of God, you have to look at it like a pilot light, or yeah, a pilot light, right? Or a gas stove. You can turn it on, you can turn it off. You turn it on by believing in God within you. You turn it off by believing in negativity, by saying that, oh, inflation is bad, or there's not enough jobs, or this is how you turn it off. You turn it off by believing in negativity and dwelling on negativity. This is what you do. And you have to ask yourself a question, right? Just think about Q, for example, the fictional character's Q, right? Right? Does God care about inflation? No. No. Does inflation affect God? No. So why should inflation affect the son or daughter of God? Why should you dwell on inflation? You should dwell upon God, whom inflation does not affect. Like the Bible says, you shall love me with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. So if you love God, who is unlimited, you are not thinking about the conditions around you. I'm not saying not to think about it. What I'm saying is don't dwell upon it. Don't dwell about it. Don't dwell on it. Don't get stressed out about it. Don't give yourself gray hairs. Dwell on the God within, right? Love Him with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind, and realize that He lives inside you, and to use the power of His mind to achieve your goals. His consciousness is within you. His consciousness is abundance. His consciousness is love. His consciousness is unlimited. So therefore, you snap your fingers. That's just a mental trick. You snap your fingers like he's doing, and you turn on God within. How do you turn on God within? You dwell on only the good that you want to experience. Now, on the opposite, you can turn on the God within by thinking negative all the time. I know people all day long who all they do is think negative. And eventually, when bad things happen, because it will, this is the law of the universe, then these people are like, why am I so unlucky? Why is this happening to me? Because you are constantly thinking negative. I was just talking about the guy on my job who was saying, he was saying how he hates his job. This guy's making $100,000 a year and he hates his job. He's speaking this every day, just about 3 times a day. After a while, God within him is going to respond. This is exactly the way divine consciousness works. And one of these days, he is going to lose his job because he is the cause of this. Your thoughts create your world around you. This is what Q was trying to tell us. Your thoughts create your world around you. In our human form, it doesn't happen instantaneously like an advanced being like God. But in our form, it can take days, it can take hours, it could take weeks, it could take months, it could take years. It doesn't matter. If you keep on thinking something over and over and over, good or bad, it is going to happen to you. You are harnessing energies on the other side that none of us can see. But these energies create our experiences on planet Earth. This is exactly what the Q is saying. So you can use these energies for good to help yourself and to help your family, or you can use these energies for bad. The choice is yours. Do you want to be positive or negative? Do you want to be good or bad? The choice is yours. To be or not to be. That is the question. This is the reason why I'm more into, of course, definitely the Bible, but books on prayer and visualization, because the final frontier in Star Trek is not space. I've watched Star Trek ever since I was a child. I've watched all the movies. I've watched all the TV shows. I watched DS9. I watch all of them. All of them. The final frontier is not space. It's not. It is inner space. It is the creativity that is within your own mind. When God said, "Let there be light," he spoke. He visualized it in his mind first. He visualized all the things that he wanted to create, and then he spoke it. And that began the creation. This is how God creates. He thinks it in his mind first, and then he speaks it, and then it becomes flesh for the world to see. I'm just getting more spiritually deep. I'm trying to get away from negative